I hope you are well today. Welcome to today's video. So today I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of insight into body respect versus body love. So if you struggle to love who you see in the mirror, if you struggle to even comprehend the idea of loving your body, then you will want to keep listening. So before we get started this morning, I would love it if you would do a couple things with me. So first of all, if you guys are watching this on Facebook this morning, I would encourage you to head on over to YouTube, to my YouTube channel. This is where I have, over 200 videos, all to do with my self-love at any size method, which really encompasses all the things I talk about on here. But there's also yoga videos, meditations, interviews with other like-minded people, and just a really supportive environment for you to work on your self-love journey. And then also, if you are not in this group, I have a community on Facebook here called SelfLove at Any Size. Accept and respect your body. And you can find this group in the description of the video, or you can head on over to imperfectlyperfectyou.ca, and that will get you access into that community where we really just do all the things that I talk about on these videos. We kind of do that within that community, but that's where the support, the community, the empowerment comes in. These practical tips that I give you guys in my videos is just a small glimpse into what I contribute to my community. And so in this community, we have challenges and giveaways and just that safe space for you to just discover your self-love and discover your acceptance and respect for your body and what that looks like. So if that sounds interesting to you, head on over to the link in the description of the video too, and be sure to join our community. We'd love to have you in there. And then one more thing before we get started, because I feel like a little bit of broken record these days, but I am in a competition right now called Yoga Warrior. And so this is a voting competition based upon the public's votes. And so if I was to win this Yoga Warrior title, this would give me $10,000, and it would give me a chance to have a 2-page article in the Yoga Journal. So this is a super fun opportunity, and I am currently in 4th place last time I looked, so I could use some of your votes out there to anybody who is watching. And you can also, there is a video on my channel as well where I talk about what I would do with the money, why yoga is important to me, and all those things too. So be sure to go look at that video if you want to learn more about my reason for entering into the competition. So the link to vote is in the description of the video. You can vote daily. So this is a daily vote between now and the 31st of March. So we have a couple more, or a week or so to vote, and then we'll see if I can make it to the next round. So anyway, so those are the little housekeeping things. And then there's coffee. Do you guys have coffee? Are you coffee drinkers or tea drinkers? Okay. Oh, hey, Sharon, I see you on there. She's done. Good luck. Thank you. I appreciate your support. Okay, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about body respect versus body love. So we're going to get into it now. So if you struggle with the idea of loving your body, and that's a big thing, I know, especially I hear this a lot. And so it kind of feels like that foreign and unattainable concept, right? So I get that. And like the true goal is that you start to move from a place of body hatred to a place of body respect. So that's really the next step in this journey. And I think a lot of people, they hear the word body love and they're like, oh no, I'm never going to love this body. And they just totally shut down. So I really changed my way of thinking, because when I first started helping women with this topic and coaching, I really realized that the minute I said body love, they're like, well, no, that's not happening. And they would shut down. And so I realized I had to change my perspective of coming from a place of, yes, okay, we hate our bodies right now, but we're going to learn to respect our bodies. So respecting our body means taking care of both our physical self and our mental self, right? And so the language around bodies and health can be confusing at times and really misleading. So I often hear from my clients too that it seems like I'm just supposed to wake up one day and suddenly love everything about my body. And that's just never going to happen, is what I hear often, right? And so I'm grateful for these people who stand up and say that, you know, this is how I'm feeling, and I feel like this is never going to be obtainable. And, you know, yes, it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic to go from body hate to body love. That, like, there has to be, you know, a step. We're missing a step when we're looking at the message that has been given to us, right? So coming to diet culture, diet culture really messages, the diet culture message implies, that in order to be happy and healthy and successful, you must be thin. And so that's what diet culture, that's what diet culture has taught us, is that in order to be those things, we have to be thin. And that was the message I was told and believed wholeheartedly for a very long time. And, you know, especially now, you will see hashtags like body love, body positivity, this movement that's happening. Yes, it started as a way to promote positive body image messages, but at this point, it feels like those hashtags and those messages have been taken over by, you know, thin women with socially acceptable body types, right? So yes, they're body positive, but, you know, it's being taken over to a different perspective, right? So this can make the idea of loving your body even more daunting when you're seeing images online of, you know, women who are part of this body positive movement or body love movement. And you look at them and you're like, well, yeah, okay, she can love her body, but that I can't love this body, right? And so it's a daunting task to have the idea. It can make the idea of loving our body really like unachievable, like feeling, right? So the thing is that we don't have to love everything about our body. And I'm going to say that again. You don't have to love everything about your body. And in fact, it's unrealistic to think that we will love every single thing about our bodies, right? This is where the body respect comes in. So it's really difficult to take good care of something that you don't respect. So if you don't respect something, you're not going to take care of it. So rather than a goal of loving your body and aiming, we need to really shift our perspective to aiming for body respect. It's more realistic and it's more important when it comes to taking care of ourselves, right? So even when you have those days, which we all do, when you feel like your body doesn't look up to your standards or you're just having a bad body image day, which we all do, it's still, you know, our body is still doing so many amazing things to keep us alive and participating in our life, right? Like, you know, being alive is amazing, right? Think about all the amazing things that our bodies do for us each day. It allows us to hug our loved ones. It allows us to participate in social activities. Our body converts food into energy, and our body even gets us out of bed in the morning. So there's all these amazing things that our body does for us that we often don't realize. And the sooner that we can start to respect those things and come from that heart-centered place of, you know, really being grateful for those things our bodies do for us. Sorry. And so a couple things. So when we're talking about body respect, a couple things that come to mind first for me is to, you know, a big part of my body respect journey has been to switch over to intuitive eating. And that is a journey in itself. And that came much later in my journey. But, you know, really coming from a place of honoring your hunger signals. That's one of the principles in intuitive eating. Eating something each and every time your body tells you it's hungry, and without the shame and guilt and all that stuff, which that's a whole nother topic in itself. But these are just some little things that I realize that are ways that I can respect my body. Another thing that I notice is that really taking care of yourself with that compassion and kindness. So taking care of yourself from the fact that, you know, when you have those bad seasons or moments or sad moments where you feel that, you know, low self-esteem, low body image, really, you know, taking that turn on the path on coming back to compassion and kindness for yourself. And, you know, if you have a day where you literally can't get off the couch, then allow yourself to show compassion and kindness, and allow yourself to maybe have that day. Doesn't mean to say we're going to lay on there forever, but we have to warrant those times that our body's telling us that we need to slow down. And I know that's something that I actively work on too. So the next thing that I noticed with body respect is a big part of my body respect journey has been to move my body in a way that feels good for me. And that has really been such a transformational way that I viewed exercise. I actually love the exercise that I do, and that's something that I never could say before. So my exercise and movement that I do now is based upon what feels good. It's not based upon a calorie, like how many calories it's going to burn, or how long it is, or how intense it is. My exercise and movement is from a way that feels good for me. Like maybe that's walking in the sunshine with my family. Maybe that's walking in nature on a path that's very beautiful. Maybe that's doing yoga, which is a really big part of my journey as well. And all those things feel really good to me. And it's all connected back to like boundaries and stuff too, of saying yes to what feels good and saying no to what doesn't. So there's all of these things that really, all these elements that become a play when we're talking about body respect. But these are just a couple of the things that I've noticed that have been the biggest shift for myself, right? So a couple tips for you guys moving forward. If you are wanting to take this body respect journey and really, step away and kind of disrupt diet culture and the society norms that we have been told, here's a couple things for you guys to take to move forward with this. So the first thing is to weed the social media garden. And I love how that sounds. To just really take a look at your social media and ask yourself if it's filling you up or if it's tearing you down. Because if you go through that feed that we all scroll through mindlessly, if you're being consumed by things that, make you feel worse about yourself, that make you feel horrible, make you feel like crap, then really start to cater your social media to fit you. And this takes a long time. I can finally and I won't say that 100% happens all the time, but I definitely have noticed a shift where I can go on my social media and I don't really see a lot of the garbage. I've really made it been very mindful about hide this, don't show this, unfollow this person, and just do what serves me best, right? So being brave with kind of weeding out the things that you don't want to see for your own emotional and mental well-being, right? And then the next thing that we can do to aim towards body respect is to practice self-care. This is huge, you guys. And not just practice one area of self-care. And this is the little trigger that I notice in a lot of my clients is we are always really good at 2 or 3 core areas. We're I am amazing at self-care. I do this and I do this and I do this. And it's well, what about this? How is your financial self-care? How is your practical self-care? How is your, a lot of times physical self-care can be something that people often struggle with. But what people don't realize is, and I was one of these people too, is that I used to think that because I was good at one area of self-care that I had it figured out. But now I have, stepped into that, coaching space and seeing other people telling me what they are experiencing. I'm oh, you know what? We're missing pieces here. There's parts of our self-care that, we're not ever paying attention to. And so I often find with people that, with the clients that I work with, is that if one of these areas is really bad, that they have zero self-care in this area, then this will reflect and it'll actually kind of paralyze them to a certain degree, because their mind is constantly being reminded in the, the back core memory of our minds of oh, I suck at this. I'm not good at this part of self-care. And so that's where we need to, that's where the personal growth happens, where the uncomfortable feelings happen when you step into that area of self-care that maybe isn't your strength, and recognizing that. So practicing self-care, huge. And no, it doesn't have to be spa days and massages and weekend getaways. It can be doing yoga for 5 minutes in your kitchen. It can be, taking 5 minutes to write in your journal. It can be, spending some time with your crystals, or, you know, doing some movement that you love with your family, like, and bringing your family into it is amazing too. But anyway, moving on. Another thing we can do to step towards body respect is to stop comparison. Comparison is huge, you guys, and it can swallow you whole. If you focus all of your energy into making yourself feel like you're not successful or not good enough or not worthy because you don't look like this person, or you don't have what this person has, or you didn't get the opportunity that this person got, you're going to be consumed by it, and it's going to hold you back from ever moving forward, whether we're talking about your careers, your relationships, your self-love journey. If you compare yourself constantly, then that's going to be what consumes you. And I love you so much, but I'm sorry, but that's what happens. So really stop it. And it's hard, and there's going to be moments where it comes back like creeping in like a bad weed or something. And you just really need to be mindful of recognizing when that happens and taking those active steps to switch the narrative, right? And then finally, couple more things, 2 more tips for you guys. Don't tear apart your body. So when you're talking about body respect, you can't be picking apart every little flaw that your body has and you know, like being once again consumed by it. So if you are constantly focusing on how big your belly is, or how flabby your arms are, or how you look in a swimsuit, you're going to bring yourself down. You're going to compare yourself to others. You're going to, not do things that make you happy because you feel judged by, your own opinion of your body. Not to say anyone else thinks that. And I think that's something really interesting too. There's so much we could talk about with this. But anyway, going into my last tip, focusing on what your body does for you. So our bodies are amazing, like I've already touched on, right? Like, they do so much for us each day. They allow us to hug our loved ones. They allow us to, move around in this world. They allow, they turn food into energy. Like, there's all these different things that our bodies do that we often take for granted. And we often don't realize the power that we have in realizing how powerful our bodies are. And so really switching the perspective to focus on what your body does for you, what you can respect about your body. And then you're going to find yourself, turning your back on those feelings of what your body isn't. And, taking that perspective change of focusing on what your body isn't to what your body is. Because each of your bodies out there have something you can be grateful for. And I know it's hard to see it sometimes, but you really need to switch the narrative and the perspective to be focusing on what your body does. So that's going to empower you to have that respect for yourself, to be like, hey, this body's amazing. Look at all the things it does for me every day. And the more you do that, the less you're going to feel that negative perspective, right? So anyway, those were my little tips for you guys today. So really learning that, we can move towards the point of body respect instead of body love. Because if body love scares you, or if body love feels like so far away, then really just change your mindset to think about this from a body respect perspective, and the things that we can do to take those small steps towards that goal. And so if any of these things sound interesting to you, or if you've had some Me Too moments in this video, I would encourage you to do a couple things to get started within this kind of my side of the world, which number one is to add yourself to my group, because that's going to allow you to experience firsthand on what this is all about and how I am helping disrupt the world of, self-love and diet culture, and, really just shaking things up, man. And so first thing is to add yourself to this group. We do lots of fun things in here. It's a really supportive community, like I've already said. And second thing, I don't think I have a graphic for it. I don't. But in the description of the video, if you scroll to the bottom, there is a guide called Disrupting Diet Culture. I would encourage you to download it. It's just going to give you, once again, some really starter tips on, especially in this workbook, it's really focusing on more of the intuitive eating side of things, which is a part of, taking apart diet culture and kind of moving away from it into a place of body acceptance, body respect, and that self-love piece at whatever size you are. So those are just some starter ways that you can start working with me. Of course, if you visit my website, which is in the description of the video as well, you will find lots of different courses that start at like $21 to get you started in this kind of journey towards taking care of yourself, investing in your personal growth, and investing in your self-love, which our self-love is the biggest gift we could ever give to ourselves. And so there's lots of ways that I can help you get started with that. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thanks for anyone who was watching, and we will see you guys tomorrow.